Yo, what is up guys, MrPantaloons here with Omnia, and in today's video we are going to talk a little bit about support. So recently I changed my support from my MLB Lightning to my Vaughn, which has one limit break on his 35, and the reason for that is I did a little bit of testing and it looks like my Vaughn, even though he doesn't have MLB 15 CP and no MLB 35 either, he still deals more damage than my fully maxed out MLB Lightning. And I did a few tests with some of the better MLB supports, and I guess I should also show, first off, let's go in and show a little bit of what I'm talking. So I went and did it mostly on this guy right here, on the Chimera. Now the Chimera, it's kind of annoying because he does have that weakness against fire, so some of the characters you can't really test them out, and obviously there are specific cases like that where someone like Papa Limo might be really good because he deals fire damage, right? So he would deal a ton of damage to the Chimera. But okay, I want to see, I want to go in with my Vaughn and my Lightning, right? So I'm gonna showcase this real quick. So go in solo and let me see. So I tested Vaughn, I tested Titus, I tested Ico. Prish I didn't really test. I guess we could take Prish, but I don't think Prish would do that well, right? Because she doesn't have much going for her in terms of support. And then Ramza, Ramza might be another interesting one. Let me go ahead and do Prish here, and just to see how she does. Sax Kraken, yo, what is up? How's it going? Hello, hello, hello. Alright, so we have Lightning. Unfortunately we didn't get the Titus because I do like to apply those debuffs, because most of the time you're gonna have some debuffs on the boss as well, right? But with Lightning, so when you have your support Lightning, you basically have 5 flourishes, right? And there is no real sense to do Spark Strike unless you can somehow manage the bravery with a Spark Strike into a flourish, but you're going to most likely overflow if you do that, so you pretty much have to do Flourish of Steel, right? So we do one flourish, that's gonna be 4700, right? So that's quite a bit of damage. Now we can apply the debuff, so should have done even more damage than that, so that was a really good amount of damage. Now my Vaughn here, usually with a Vaughn support you have to red spiral and then 4 wide rolls with his 35 CP right now, because you get a ton of damage from the wide whirl. Now my Vaughn, you can actually do that a little bit better because I do my red spiral and I get only 3 turns, right? So I don't have the 15 CP. With the 15 CP you would get that for 4 turns, and as you saw there, we didn't deal that much damage either. But it's all about those extra charges, because Vaughn, he essentially has 7 Brave plus HP attacks, right? Even though Lightning, she has the Brave regen, she has the attack, she has the max bravery, at the end of the day she only has 5 Brave plus HP in terms of support unit, right? And that's why Vaughn deals more damage, even though he's not MLB in this case. And okay, we're gonna do another flourish. So she got the Brave regen plus another flourish, she deals 4400, right? So that's a decent amount. We got Titus, we're gonna skip him. Okay, we skipped him like that. Alright, so she's again, boom, again Brave regen, another flourish, and look at that, 3600. So she's not dealing as much damage, right? She kind of falls off a bit, but the Brave regen sort of keeps her there. And Lightning, actually, she's one of the fastest support units because you can get those 5 turns real quick. So if you want a quick burst of damage, she definitely works. Let's skip him. And then for my Vaughn, now this is what I was saying, since my Vaughn only has 3 attacks, we could have actually done White Whirl, Red Spiral, and then the 3 the 3 wide whirls that were left over, just to get the full attack with the charged ones, because that's when his damage really kicks in. So now the red spiral, that was awful, right? Especially without the 15 CP, but now he's gonna start to deal some damage. So the first white roll, we are also gonna get a break there, so we're gonna get a little bit more, 5100, but he would have still done like 4k, right? So pretty much comparable to Lightning. So there we go, she also does 5400. And I guess we should get Prish in here as well. Now the thing is, he got his defense up, so the numbers are gonna be lower now. Now let's check Prish as well. So Prish, you pretty much have to do spinning attack, I guess. Because this one, yeah, melee bravery. She doesn't have a brave plus HP. And then you get some buffs here. So you would do a spinning attack. You do deal quite a bit of damage, and especially if there are multiple enemies, you can pretty much max our bravery out. And then this would be the last turn for the lightning support, right? So let's not do it, because I'm probably gonna, or let's just do it. He's probably gonna die, but there we go, 4100. So now you would be out of your lightning support, right? Whereas Vaughn, he still has 3 more turns. So another white whirl. That is again 4189, so not that much, but the rest of those 2 white rolls, we're basically gonna hit him 4 times, right? We have 4 brave plus HP basically left. Now let's see, so with Prish, so the one thing with Prish, you can do some HP attack plus, you get a little bit more than that, but other than that, she's not a very good support, right? She doesn't, because you have to take 1 turn, get your bravery up, you do the HP plus, 5890, that's not bad, but that was 2 turns, so basically not even 3k per turn there in terms of HP damage. It does deal a lot of bravery damage, but yeah, that's about it. Hey, Mr. Straight, how's it going? Looks like we're getting another turn, so let's skip real quick. We're gonna get the break there. So look at this now, the white roll of Vaughn. Number 1, 4788 and 4157. So that's what, like 9k damage in 1 turn. Not even MLB Squall can deal that much, right? So he beats Squall with that kind of damage. Okay, I don't wanna kill him. Yeah, let's do the final one. And then I'm gonna show some numbers, and we're gonna talk about some of the other supports as well. But essentially, Vaughn, he deals a ton of damage. But once again, boom, 4300, and another one, boom, 3167. It was less there because we ran out of the attack buff. He also had the defense buff, but you get the picture. Actually, let's put this on auto while we talk about the support. Is it gonna finish it? I'm curious. Or are we gonna die? We'll figure it out. But anyway, here are the numbers. So I went in with an MLB, fully MLB Daiko with good passes, fully MLB Vaughn with good passes, full MLB Squall with good passes, full Papalymo with good passes, and I actually used Umbral Ice here because, as it turns out, Umbral Ice is actually better unless you have the fire advantage, unless the boss has weakness to the fire element, because the Brave essentially is better than the damage, the raw damage from the Astral Fire. With Astral Fire you get more max bravery, but that doesn't really do anything when you can't deal that amount of damage. Then we have full MLB Lightning, full MLB Tidus, and then some thoughts on the other ones. I wanted to do Cecil, but couldn't really get a support unit, and I believe he would be tricky, but as you can see at the top, Aiko, she is pretty much one of the best supports, if not the best. The only thing is, she doesn't have Brave plus HP, right? So she does like a ton of damage, as you can see here. In total, she did 46k for the entire party because of the smite, right? Like this is one smite here, 14k, then this was an HP attack, so 5700. But then this 14k, this is brave damage, right? I should have put here brave. So that is brave damage, these two right here. But obviously you can dump that bravery in the subsequent turns, right? So you're still gonna get this damage off. The only thing is that it takes longer, right? So in longer fights, she is the best support pretty much. And this is also the HP regen on turn 1. You also get attack up, you get max bravery up, and you get some initial bravery here as well with the HP regen for your entire party. So 1 HP regen, 2 smites, 2 HP attacks, so you can even get it 3 smites in there and you're gonna deal like maybe 50k, 60k, so she deals a ton of damage. But then next up, Vaughn. He's pretty much the best right now for single target DPS. A full MLB Vaughn managed to deal 32k with his 1 red spiral and 4 wide rolls. Then Squall, unfortunately he has 4 Renzokukens, right? So he does deal a ton of damage per Renzokuken, but then that 1 solid barrel, he misses out on some HP damage, so the total ends up being lower than Vaughn. So Vaughn, he got 32k, and then the MLB Squall, he got 27k. And surprisingly enough, this here is my Vaughn, right? So I have 2 35 CPs and no 15 CPs, and even my Vaughn deals more than the full MLB Squall. So 1 red spiral, 4 wide rolls, I managed to deal 28k, and that is why I changed from my lightning support to my Vaughn support. As we go along, we can see how much damage lightning does as well. The next up, surprisingly enough, or I guess not necessarily surprising, but Papalimo, he also deals a ton of damage. Now with his Umbral Ice, he actually managed to cap bravery every single turn, so he did 25k in total. I tried with the Astral Fire, because the Astral Fire you get max bravery, but the brave regen ended up getting me more damage, so that's interesting. I wonder if that is always the case or if it depends on something else, but I'm assuming that's the case, because I don't see what would be different. The defense stat pretty much scales linearly in this game, so there's not much that's gonna change unless Papalimo will somehow get a boost, like get an EX weapon or a level 60 awakening. Then we might see some changes, but so far this is pretty much it. And then Lightning, so full MLB Lightning, look at this, she deals 22k, so that's why I changed from my 22k support Lightning to my 28k support Vaughn. And from the Vaughn you also get defense down for 5 turns from the wide roll, plus the blind for 1 turn as well, whereas with Lightning you get none of that, right? So Vaughn is a much better support unit. And then Tidus, he actually deals comparable to Lightning. Look at this, 21k, so almost as much as Lightning. But Tidus, he also puts the debuffs, right? So if you don't have anyone to put debuffs with, you can actually get Tidus and you'd probably be better off than with Lightning, which is interesting. And then I put in some of the other characters here. Now Cecil would be another interesting choice because of the launch. You have the 4 Valiant Blows, and then I guess you can deal 1 HP damage, but that might be tricky, right? Because how are you gonna take advantage of those 4 Valiant Blows? I guess if you use it when summoning, you can probably get 1 or 2 really good ones, but then it's still going to be tricky to get the full launches there, right? So I'm not sure how well he would perform, and he might fluctuate. Then Vanille actually would be an interesting choice as well. So she does have Brave Battery, she has 4 AoE dispels, and you can do 1 HP as well. And we're talking about MLB situations, right, where you have the MLB 35 Vanille, so she might be a pretty decent Brave Battery for the team. Then we have Setzer. Setzer, he is kind of a unique character with that Freeze Joker. He also gets the party some max bravery, and then the red cards apparently with the 15 CP passive also delays target for the 1 turn, and then you can deal 1 or 2 HP, so you definitely have some utility over there. Then Balthier, he doesn't really have much, he can dispel, that's about it. Then Prish, we've already seen her there, she doesn't really do too much honestly, just because she doesn't have a Brave plus HP to reliably dump her HP every single turn. She takes too many turns. Then Faris, she has Dispel and some debuffs, so she has some utility there. Then Ramza, he's got the attack up and the Brave Regen, so he might actually not be that bad as a support. He might have a little bit of use there. Then Ace, I don't think he would be too good because he needs more turns, as I wrote there, because he needs to charge up, right? He's a little bit slower in terms of damage. He needs to get his card stacks and then he can dish out the damage. So in 5 turns he's not going to be able to deal that much damage. Then Seymour, he's also really good, but he only has 4 Brave plus HP attacks instead of the 5 for Tidus, and they are kind of comparable. I'm not sure, probably Seymour deals more damage, but since he only has 4 Brave plus HP, he might end up doing less damage, right? Because that one final turn you're not gonna do anything, right? Or you have to do 1 chain spell and then you can do the 4 Brave plus HP, so you might lose out on some bravery damage there. Then Sabin, I think he would have too low damage. He does have Brave plus HP, but yeah, I think he does too low damage. Krill, now she is a Brave battery, but I think her Brave battery is kind of low, so in terms of Brave damage she might not do too much. And then she also doesn't hit her target, right? Like Vanille, she hits her targets. Aiko, she hits her targets. So Krill, she's not that great. She Brave batteries your team, but she doesn't hit the target. And then Thancred might be also interesting. He does have poison and Brave plus HP, so he might deal some respectable damage. And then finally also Snow, he does have some Brave plus HP as well. So that is pretty much for the supports right now, in my opinion. I did not test the bottom ones here, but I did test MLB, Tidus, Lightning, Papalymo, Squall, Vaughn and Aiko. So for the best one, Vaughn for the magical damage, Squall for the physical damage, Aiko hands down for the longer fights, especially if you don't have a full MLB team. Then Aiko support, she can really help you out with those HP regions and the Brave batteries. And then Papalymo is really good, especially if the boss has Ice weakness or Fire weakness. Papalymo, he will just destroy your target. And then Lightning and Tidus, they are obviously still good choices. They still deal respectable damage. And then Tidus, he has those debuffs which are really nice to have. So there you go, guys, that is pretty much it. We did lose the battle here. The boss got all those buffs right there. But there you go, let me know what you think, and do remember to update your support. I don't know if they, I know they updated their tutorial. Hopefully they made it more clear that you need to go into the home menu and update your support unit, because it is very essential. Having a really good support unit just is so much, it is pretty much, it's very helpful, right, for everyone. There is no reason you shouldn't have a really good support unit. So right now Vaughn with 35 CP works really well, but any of the other ones also are fine, especially if you have Aiko. She is really nice. But there you go, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know which support you are using, and yeah, I shall see you in the next video. Have a good one and take care.